For Logan Paul, the transition from internet provocateur to legitimate professional athlete was complete. He stood at the absolute peak of his physical and promotional prime. Tens of thousands of fans packed the arena for WWE's Saturday night's main event, creating a high-stakes environment under the brightest lights in sports entertainment. He delivered exactly the performance they expected. Partnered with Austin Theory, Paul successfully defended and retained their World Tag Team Championships. In that specific window of time, he looked entirely untouchable, dominating the tag team division with a mix of raw athleticism and undeniable star power. But the reality of professional wrestling is that the margin for error is effectively zero. The sequence broke down on the outside of the ring. During a chaotic exchange, the Street Profits Angelo Dawkins came crashing down, his entire body weight landing directly onto Paul. The human arm is not designed to absorb that level of sudden, concentrated force. The heavy impact overloaded the limb, and Paul's triceps muscles simply gave way, resulting in a severe tear. When that tendon detaches, the arm loses its ability to extend. The mechanical tension required to push, pull, or even stabilize the limb is instantly gone. Operating entirely on adrenaline, Paul somehow managed to push through the structural damage to his arm and finish the match. Once the bell rang and the endorphins wore off, the agonizing physical reality of the injury finally took hold. A severed tricep tendon forces an immediate halt to an athlete's career. It grounds them, threatening to strip away their current momentum and force a sudden forfeiture of their championship titles. The severity of the situation was confirmed during the following episode of WWE Raw, where the official announcement of his injury was broadcast to the audience. The medical team laid out a rigid and unforgiving prognosis. To properly heal a torn tricep, Paul would be sidelined for a grueling 6 months. Reattaching a major muscle requires immediate, intensive intervention inside a sterile operating room, where surgeons physically re-anchor the torn tissue back to the bone. Paul's response to this procedure was highly irregular. In a post on Instagram, he revealed that he opted to undergo the operation completely awake, explicitly telling his doctor that he wanted to feel it all. Rejecting anesthesia for major orthopedic surgery is a punishing psychological choice. It served as a visceral declaration that he refused to let the injury dictate his state of mind. He carried that exact same mentality toward his diagnosis. He publicly mocked the doctor's 6-month recovery timeline, stating flatly that he didn't believe them. Instead, he laid out an aggressive counterschedule, promising fans he would be back in action in just a couple weeks. Without missing a beat, he shifted straight from a post-op patient back into a relentless promoter. He claimed his rapid recovery would be fueled by 32-gram protein prime shakes. He even noted the bright side of his situation, that his good arm was still free to rip packs for the upcoming launch of his Rip It brand. Meanwhile, the collateral damage in the ring left his partner, Austin Theory, completely exposed, holding the tag team titles alone. But before the rest of the division could capitalize on the vulnerability, the legendary Paul Heyman stepped in to dictate the terms of the championship. Heyman assured Theory that the belt still belonged to him and the Vision, essentially placing the tag team championship in an indefinite holding pattern. By refusing to relinquish the belts, Paul and Heyman have placed the tag team division in a state of limbo, forcing the rest of the roster to wait while the champion attempts an impossible recovery. This sets up a direct collision course between strict, proven medical science and unyielding personal bravado. This chart compares the standard biological tissue repair curve against Paul's 2-week claim. Looking at this massive gap, it takes months for reattached tendons to achieve structural integrity to withstand the impact of professional wrestling. The attention of the WWE Universe has shifted from the ring and toward the recovery room, monitoring a high-stakes experiment in human physiology driven by his refusal to accept the diagnosis. Paul leverages this crisis as pure fuel. He takes a severe physical emergency that would sideline most careers and spins it into relentless forward momentum. His stated mission is clear: obliterate the accepted medical timeline and reclaim his active spot right back alongside Austin Theory. Paul's return date will ultimately determine if his public bravado is a masterstroke of branding or a dangerous physical oversight. Either way, he has ensured that his recovery, not just his wrestling, is now the main event.